finest degrees of freedom make me on the way home. I got hungry and I ate it. We're Americans and we only like competition, okay? I'm eating and I'm reading a book. And this waitress comes up.
Mr. Cruz, come out of the closet. No. Come on, Mr. Ridiculous. Mr. Cruz, you can't just stay in the closet. All right, you need to come out now.
What's going on?
Tom Cruise won't come out of the closet. Well, we can't leave you alone because you won't come out of the closet. It's been 4 hours now, and Tom Cruise still will not come out of the closet. Hundreds of onlookers have gathered here in hopes that the celebrity will finally give in. Tom Cruise, please come out of the closet. Everybody here just wants you to come out of the closet. Nobody's gonna be mad. Everything's gonna be alright. We're still not exactly sure why Tom Cruise is in the closet, but I'm being joined now by famous singer-songwriter R. Kelly. I was just standing here. Tom Cruise locked himself in the closet. Ask myself, why won't Tom Cruise just come out the closet? But it has no answers. And so I pull out my gun. Tell me what Tom Cruise in the closet, or else I'm gonna shoot someone.
I just wish I could write my room, but Tom Cruise won't come out of the closet. Tom, it's Nicole. Tom, don't you think this has gone on long enough? It's time for you to come out of the closet.
I'm not in the closet.
Yes, you are, Tom. And you need to just end this and come out. I'm not going to think any differently of you. Katie's not going to think any differently of you. You don't need to be in that closet anymore, Tom.
I'm not in here.
Yes, you are.
I'm not in the closet.
Tom, you can't hide forever. Come out of the closet, Tom. You're not fooling anyone.
But I'm not here.
Charlie, you gotta come out. Oh my God. Okay, so like, if you don't come out, can I at least come in and talk to you?
Okay, but no trick.
No shit. Man, it's good, man.
Yeah, Hello? Hey, come out of there! It now appears that John Travolta is also in the closet, and he refuses to come out. Here with more details once again is R. Kelly. I was just standing here. Tom Cruise locked himself in the closet. Then John Travolta's closet. John Travolta's in the closet. Please, Tom Cruise and John Travolta come out of the closet. I calm myself down. And I pull out my gun. Tom Cruise and John Travolta come out of the closet. I'm gonna cap this bitch. We've just had an incredible development here, Mitch. Tom Cruise, John Travolta, and R. Kelly have all come out of the closet. We've just had an incredible development here, Mitch. Tom Cruise, John Travolta, and R. Kelly have all come out of the closet. I was just standing here. Tom Cruise locked himself in the closet. Ask myself, why won't Tom Cruise just come out the closet? Nobody has no answers. And so I pull out my gun. Tell me what Tom Cruise in the closet, or else I'm gonna shoot someone.
be with you.
All right, folks. I have no idea what's going on with her. Goddamn everything. I broke my phone last night and had to get a new one this morning, and so I wasn't in contact with everybody or whatever. But it's just gonna be me and somebody else as of right now. I may have myself by putting in U.S. anti-ICE protests, but that's what part of what we're gonna go over. So if it's just a couple of us, I don't care. Even though everybody and their mom's talking about this shit, and I don't know where everybody else is at, but fuck it. Here we go. Let's just bring in.
War. War never changes. And we are the Galactic Penguin Federation, NASA's enforcers. We rain fire on our enemies and fight hand to hand across the galaxy. We are ever seen, yet we are never seen in our fight for liberty. We will kick down any door and fight any secret societies.
I knew it. She's a lizard person.
My name, Commander 401. And this is how we handle our problems.
You gotta step up and beat that bully with a stick.
Exactly. How are you doing, Commander?
Well, hopefully I will have a new job soon.
That's good.
And
Hopefully.
probably going to the protest in New York City.
I'm going to be at the one in Fort Collins Saturday. I'm going to definitely go to that one. The one in Denver, they said they canceled, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm not going to drive all the way down there to get arrested. I'd rather just get arrested in my hometown. But Fort Collins is doing a No Kings protest on Saturday. And so I will
Now,
be.
for the record, the Sons
Yes.
of Liberty will kick anyone out of the server who dares post anything resembling encouraging violence. And everyone is instructed not to do anything bad, but if you are met with force and you have no way of leaving, defend yourself.
Yes. Yes. No violence unless you. But anyways, so they have been targeting news reporters and shooting them. So I wanted to go over at least one of the three that happened. Although a Democratic senator got assaulted earlier today, just a couple hours ago. at Christine Gnome's thing. We'll go over that in a second. I was trying to see if we could find some of the other people that got shot that were in the news or from the news, because that is a definite thing you don't do. But let's talk about the protests around the country from different places.
And hundreds of protesters take to downtown San Antonio tonight, a protest against ramped up ICE operations nationwide carried out under the orders of the Trump administration. Texas National Guard members sent by Governor Greg Abbott seen entering the Alamo before the protest. State troopers blocking every side, telling our reporters they are prepared should anyone try to enter or deface it. And your South Texas Ford dealer Sky 4 with an exclusive view over the crowds. Tonight's protest, dubbed Take Back the Alamo, one of many being held across the nation. Protesters started off on a sidewalk outside City Hall, then spilled out into the street, people holding signs showing their discontent with ICE and President Trump. It all started.
So this is just a small handful of things that are happening around the country. We're only going to show some of them because, like, literally, like every.
When the No Kings protest was planned, it was specifically to get orders of magnitude, and by that I mean orders of magnitude, 2, 3, 4 times the number of people protesting nationwide and around the world during Donald Trump's Soviet-style dictator parade.
Yes, for his wannabe birthday and for the what birthday of the military or something. Who cares? Yes, so that's why it's happening.
Dodgers do not deserve military parades.
No, obviously not, totes. So let's keep cracking on. And Saturday, I will see how much. When I get to events like that, my brain is not to pull up my phone and start live streaming. I do have this new beautiful phone, and if I get a case for it and everything,
I got a burner phone because I'm going to keep this one. It's precious. It has so much data on it. I don't.
Well, I just got a new phone, so nothing happened to it yet. But anyways, most likely I am going to just do the protest on Saturday. The only thing I'm scared of is if the wrong people show up as counter, and or if ICE is doing, and or the police do, or whoever does what they have been doing, I feel like I'm probably going to get arrested because I can't keep my mouth shut, and I am so fucking pissed about everything that's going on. It's another reason why I'm not going to Denver, because I feel like if I go to Denver, I'm totally going to jail. So I'm just going to go here and hope that, like, I can find a handful of friends that I know, which I know I will. And I can be like, can you guys just, like, make sure that, like, you tell me a couple times to just shut the fuck up, especially if there's pigs in front of you. But we'll see. If I get arrested, y'all will know, like, immediately. It will be known. I just need to get a bomb case for my phone, or just a hefty case for my phone, probably from our box or something, and a screen thing, and then I'll be golden. But yeah, Saturday, that's what I will be, is at the protest here in Fort Collins. And if people want to know where the protests are, it's called No King's Day around the world, which is Saturday on the 14th. Look, all you have to do is just Google or search whatever your goddamn thing is you use to search things. Look up No King's Day protest, and near me or local, there's a handful of websites. There's websites where you can sign up to say you're going to be there. You can, I guess that's the best way to put it. You can, like, say, I'll be at this one, and and then there's things you can sign and stuff like that to help people not die, because, like, already too many people have died because of fucking Trump and all the twat whistles fucking taking away everybody's stuff and things. Let me just double check. Okay.
And just a little hint if you go, for anyone else who's thinking of going, if tear gas is used, hold your breath and walk slowly away from the tear gas. Do not run, because if you start breathing, you'll breathe it in deeper and you'll breathe more of it, and it will affect you more.
Yeah. Hopefully you have some kind of face covering. Most of us. Trump said they're going to arrest everybody who has face coverings, but fuck it. I think everybody should have a face covering option with them. And I think everybody should face cover. I think we should try to dress up as much as possible to not look like ourselves, so that face recognition and other things can't be used against us. And that's technically not illegal to the best of my knowledge, but definitely bring options. And if you think that you are going to be,
it's technically not illegal to wear a face mask. Trump just
well,
said,
Trump said,
I will make a law.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
no,
not
I
law.
know. I know, but just FYI, make it always have it as an option, or multiple things of an option as well. And you may want to bring a change of clothes in a backpack or something.
Yes, so that if you're covered in OC powder, you can find something that's not. Or if they use the fire hoses, you can find something that's not wet. So that
Well, and-
basically if they're tracking you, it'd be harder too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what. Thank you. Yeah, and you can just change clothes or put on more clothes. I try to wear like the littlest amount of clothes as possible, but the problem that I have is I have so many visible tattoos that I pretty much have to like go with a Darth Vader costume or outfit, you know. But I'm not gonna do that here, because I'm gonna try to do something maybe Saturday to get a lot of attention. That I don't know how this is gonna go, but we'll see. I have a couple ideas of what I'm going to try to do to bring attention to the cause, even though I don't think I need to per se 100%. But we'll see when I get to certain places, and we'll go from there. But here, let's crack on with this.
3 hours ago, and it continues going strong tonight.
News 4 San Antonio at 10. We're here for you.
And so far, the protest has been loud but peaceful. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Mandy.
Thank you for saying that, lady. All of these things have technically been peaceful, except for, oh my god, they burned 2 Whammo cars in a... Other than that, and like there's been a couple windows that have been smashed. But normally, what's been happening is after the peaceful protesters leave, it's the fucking hoodlums that come in and do damage. It's not the actual protesters. The best of our knowledge, kind of what happened with Antifa and BLM. There were a lot of agitators that came in later that fucked some shit up. And yeah, I'm partially okay with doing damage to corporations. Mom and pop shops, no, I'm not okay with as much. But again, there was not, hey, Demon Orb, there was not a lot of violence. It was the cops that were doing it. Every time we watched the videos, and we're going to watch right now, and we're going to go over.
Yeah,
I've been
there's
watching
a video of San Francisco cops trashing their own windshield.
Okay, and yeah, and then like the horse trampling a dude, and then them just beating up people for no reason because they're protesting. There's a video of people who are climbing through barbed wire fences to get away from ICE or people that are police that are trying to arrest them, so they cannot be arrested. So there's a bunch of stuff going on right now with the stuff. So let's go a little bit further with this, and then we'll go further and then further and
We've
further.
had our network of reporters covering this story.
I know, but I feel like we need to be here? I feel like I need to be here to keep doing this, and I'm a little old, and I don't know if I can 100% do this right now, but I feel like I may need to start going out onto the field again. Like I used to do a lot of on the ground and news reporting. And I haven't done it in a hot second, but fuck it. Like, I may have to do it again. And if I get screwed up, fuck it. Like, I can't stand by anymore while all this crap is happening to some extent. Although that's why we do this stream and stuff. But I feel like I may need to go back into the streets because when I was a teenager, I used to protest and go to all these things and get roughed up by the cops and all that stuff. It's been years, but I feel like I need to start doing it again. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
All day and all night with live updates throughout the evening here on News 4. Our team coverage continues now with the latest on the protests, the police presence, and the push to keep things peaceful. We've got all the angles covered. Tonight's protest outside City Hall comes after several weeks of mass detentions and deportations carried out by the Trump administration. Some saying they voted for deportations of undocumented immigrants who have committed crimes, not of hardworking people who have lived and worked here peacefully for years.
Yeah, when they told you they want to deport gazillions of people, who the fuck did you think? Did you think, honestly, that there was a gazillion and a half people here that are fucking murder, rapists, child molesters? Like, what are we talking about, you psychopaths? No, obviously, the people that are going to get...
And also, Biden and Obama deported more people at this time in their presidency than Trump did, but they did it through legal means, and evidently it wasn't about the cruelty, and you get the idea. There was due process and all that.
Yeah, exactly. And then once again, what beep do we need to be deporting on? Like, he literally could have ran on that and then not done this bull crap. Like, he could have not done this and then done everything. I mean, let's just say, go ahead and do all the other dumb shit. This is the dumbest thing you could do. And then now we're going to have fucking like the whole country rioting because of peacefully protesting. But, you know, I mean, this is redonkulous. Like, everybody and their mom now is anti-Trump. Like, what did you idiots think? And he's not even into like a year into his presidency, and he has 3 more. Like, pretend we're almost at 1 year, because I can't think that we're not into a year yet. And then, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, let's just keep going, because boom, I'm about to burst my brain cells. And yeah.
For years. Just this morning, we saw a family of 4 detained outside of San Antonio's immigration court and placed on a bus.
Bro. You think that is going to shield you from anything? Literally. You think that somebody's going to shoot for this? Oh my Jesus Christ. You fucking... Oh, dude, that's the dumbest thing in the world. This small of a fucking vest, you fucking weirdo.
News 4 San Antonio's Destiny Fuller kicks off our team coverage now, live from City Hall. Destiny,
like,
are you seeing any
part about all this shit? They're deporting people who would never be deported, like students who post mean tweets about Trump.
Well, and not just that, they're deporting people who, like, their
US
date
citizen.
to go. Well, and their date to go to court is that day, and then they're like, "Oh, it didn't happen," and they come out and they're like, "Ah, you're illegal." It's like, that's fucking a fucking mousetrap if I've ever heard one. And I know there's a better word for that is, but it's almost a honey trap, but that's not that. But anyways, let's keep cracking on.
Right now, alive again. We are again in the dispersal phase. Just from me talking right now, there
In
are
Seattle.
few people in the street. It looks like the traffic is back open right now. So this seems like it is a situation after going on for about 6 hours now, 5 or 6 hours.
That what is it? Peaceful? Oh my geez, how did that happen?
Now it seems to be wrapping up as the day comes to an end. But one thing that we're going to...
I should have not put fucking ice blah 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 in my thing, because nobody's here. This is the... Oh my Jesus. Okay, anyways.
People that came out today.
I'm just gonna do this really quick. I'm just gonna re-edit this and just see if like it changes the algorithms at all. Even though everybody and their mom is talking about that, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it this way. It's not gonna let me because we're already live. I don't know, but here we go.
Today it was
But
about
fuck it.
easily 1,000. That might it might not even compare to what we see on Saturday. Saturday is going to be the main event where easily thousands of people are going to go to that event.
Everybody and their mom is going to be at some kind of event Saturday, and if you can't, we totally understand or whatever. But like the planning of No King's Day is gonna be insane.
And go with the group. The Sons of Liberty have people watch out for agitators. You know, people on both sides who will start violence, and we steer our group the fuck away from that kind of shit because we don't want.
I'm only going to get in a certain way if there are people that are people on our side that are being abused. I may have to step in because it's really hard for me to not do that, but let's crack on. So I think that like the last one of the things was, I don't know if we did this yet. So let's crack on with this.
Hey there, folks. Hope you're doing well today. Hey, Mega Country, you remember when Walmart was your happy place? Cheap burgers, giant flags, camo toilet paper. Well, guess what? Those rollback prices just rolled over and died. And now you're paying more for the privilege of being economically mugged by a store that sells you bullets right next to your baby formula. Let's dig in.
Walmart truly does suck.
It does, yes.
Already brought the faces. Let me tell you a story. A real heartland horror story. Once upon a time, in a charming little town with a population of 8,000 and one Dairy Queen, there were heroes. They were called Mom and Pop. Mom ran the bookstore, Pop fixed your screen door, and if you needed screws, duct tape, cough syrup, or a tube of
You could get it at the mom and pop shop.
lip smackers, the corner general store had it all. These shops didn't just sell things, they held the town together. They sponsored the Little League team, they donated the
Yeah, and that's what my dad did with his stuff. He donated to the Little League team and a handful of other things in town, and that's what used to happen. And then now we're here.
church raffle. They knew your weird uncle's name and never asked questions. Then one day, a blue and yellow big box beast crept over the hill. It came bearing low prices and jobs like a door-to-door missionary for capitalism. But behind that smiley face was a butcher's knife. Walmart had a playbook of death. Move into a town just big enough to gut, just small enough to control. Draw prices so low that they lose money, but just as
Okay. I thought this had more of the somebody actually crying about their stuff. But anyways,
And there was another thing that Walmart was doing. So I worked for a company, and a subsidiary of that company, it's been long enough. I worked for the NWB Stims and Company, and their subsidiary was Wixamillion. So anyway, Walmart had took a patent that we had and just had it go overseas, and they changed the dimensions enough where it would be pushing the patent, but you couldn't even control it that much that they changed it in production. And back when I wanted my job protected, Republicans would call me horrible things for wanting my blue-collar factory job. Yes?
Yeah. That's crazy.
They would
All right, so
argue
let's
that
get
their own
into
jobs needed to go overseas.
Yeah, because they're idiots. But anyways, let's get into Leopards eating faces party.
Starting off with, I pointed it out, and they still walked into it. Hey guys, so if Democrats take power, I think they should treat Republicans the same way Republicans treat immigrants. It's only fair. What's good for the goose is good for the gander if they complain. They're just admitting they shouldn't treat immigrants this way. Deporting them will also stop them from every other week. It will also cut down on the welfare they hate so much, since so many of them receive it. Or
Yes.
That's great. Oh my god. It's so funny how the red states and the people that live in a double wide trailer are like, God damn, those people that are sponging off the government. And you're like, yeah, isn't that your whole entire life? And they're like, hey, but I'm white and I get to, and it's like, what, the natives don't? What are you talking about, you psychopath, you fucking weirdo?
Borderline terrorist rhetoric from the left, such as this, is what got Trump a second term to begin with. Are you saying the way you treat immigrants is borderline terrorist? I mean, many of them are literal domestic terrorists. And proud of it, and pardoned for it. I hate this timeline, and I hate the Republicans for messing everything up.
Ah, Jesus.
And just think about it. They're the ones who control the churches. And when the churches let everyone know that they're hated, that there's no justice, no right or wrong, just only power, then people
Trump
don't
and
go to
RFK
church anymore.
Yeah, they'll never understand that. But anyways, let's crack on. Trump and RFK will put a stop to deadly COVID. Hello, kitty cat. Yes.
Hi.
Yes. How are you doing?
I
That okay.
haven't
All right.
even sat down yet. I just turned on my laptop, so give me just a sec. I'll be right back.
Do whatever you need to do, kitty cat. Okay, so let's let him read it because it's very funny to let him read.
Let's stop to deadly COVID class shots. And about that, FDA approves Novavax COVID vaccine. One candidate wanted to stop kids getting shot with guns. One wanted to
And
stop
for
getting
those
kids
who
shot
don't
with
know,
vaccines.
the Novavax is the Russian version, which sucks balls compared to every other version.
Guess which one Americans elected? What's that? She voted for Trump and is losing income? Who could have seen that coming, huh?
Yeah.
My mom's
how's
friend who voted for Trump is trying to get antidepressants. She lost her renter, green card issue, and her husband got fired, government worker.
Oh, poor you twat.
Just wait until she finds out that RFK Jr. wants to ban antidepressants. All I can...
Okay, let's get to the next one.
Comey played a big part in birthing the monster. Now, in second term, the monster is hungry. Former FBI director faces backlash for post depicting 8647. This is hilarious. Excuse me, FBI, help! And MAGA, threatening to lynch elected officials is patriotic. Also MAGA.
Oh my Jesus. I love how anytime that anybody on the left or whatever, not the right, says anything
These
bad,
whiny bitches.
yeah, they turn into snowflakes like immediately. And it's like, I thought you guys were the hard asses that fucking killed animals and skinned them fucking with your dick or something. I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying?
You know what
Like,
I've seen on the Twitters with NAFO? The conservative calls the NAFO doggy a pussy, and then you wind up with the person saying, oh yeah, and they're actually a veteran who's been in combat.
yeah, I know. It's crazy how it's crazy how some of these people are so brainwashed in a certain way to where they're like, wait, you're supposed to be for the people, but then now you're just in a cult and you don't understand how. Anyways, like when Trump yesterday or 2 days ago said whatever new scum in California or whatever was not doing blah blah blah, and all these veterans were like, "Yay!" And it was like, wait, y'all shouldn't be okay with what he just said. What is going on? But anyways, crack on.
Saying Trump should be lynched is a horrible threat of violence. Don't worry, Ice Barbie said, when someone has a following, an audience of Comey, they need to be more aware of what they say. But when Trump
he didn't fucking say anything,
Trump says,
or they
come to
didn't say
DC,
anything.
it will be wild, fight like hell, while being the damn president. That's nothing to be concerned about.
Yeah, exactly. Similarly, they've already said so many
I'm
divisive
so
things.
sick of that damn hypocrisy. If she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is. I don't know. Fucking rat bastard, always throwing in I don't know, so he can always have legal plausible deniability. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Of course. It's the in Minecraft defense. Hey, if you do you enjoy having a higher IQ than most MAGA supporters?
Then smoke crack, because you'll definitely after that have that. Anyways, let's crack on.
And it hurts itself in its confusion. Oh, please, what are the socially constructed components to being a woman? Please point to the chromosome or biological function that predetermines that girls like pink. Point to me the biological function that predetermines that people of color like gangster rap. Yeah, that's how stupid you sound.
Oh my Jesus Christ. Sometimes my brain breaks by listening to this crap, obviously. But if I go over this, I have to make you all go over this. So that's what sucks for all of you.
Up until the 1940s, pink was considered a male color and blue a female color. Male seniors are old enough today that they likely still wore dresses as young children. There's literally a picture of Teddy Roosevelt as a toddler in a pink dress. I dare anyone.
There was a lot of thingy-mabobbers in the past where, you know, easy it was to have a toddler that had a not bottom that they had a diaper on. Yeah, that's way more convenient than it having bottoms on. Dumbass. So, like, that was actually a thing for a long ass time. And if you look at ancient cultures, most people wore like a thing that looks like, I think I'm gonna say this right, and I'm not trying, but like Middle Eastern and in India, and India, you wear. I mean, you do wear pants under it sometimes, but your top goes like a lot down. And back in the day, you could have just worn a thing. Native Americans wear certain versions of things to wear. It's more accessible through the bottoms. If you talk to the Scottish and other people with their kilts, then there's that.
I mean, don't forget about nightshirts, even as, you know, in the 50s and everything. Men's nightshirts still to the 50s and 60s, or well, at least till the 50s for sure, were still almost like ankle length or mid, you know, shin length. And they were like basically a shirt dress. And that was okay.
Let's look at all the 1950s Disney movies with all the old men that like put on their little gown, right? And their little cap.
And wigs and powder on their noses and all the things.
Yeah. George Washington dressed like a right dandy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but when we're talking about going to bed at night, a lot of them in those times, you saw them put on a full like gown that was, or a night thing, it was like that what we're talking about, which if these cunt whistles that are idiots that don't understand what we're actually talking about would be like, hey, that's a goddamn dress and a goddamn man. But it's like, nah, bro, that's like literally that's what you slept in, you twat whistle ass fucking bitch. You're like, you're the idiots, not us. So yes. And like again, I'm gonna go back to kilts and a handful of other things. You want to go to a Scotsman and tell him he's a fucking fairy or he's a bitch. I didn't mean to say anything against fairies, but you know, go to him and no, I know. I'm sorry, my fairy kitty, my fake kitty. Anyways, no, but go to a Scotsman that's wearing a kilt that is like in full garb or, you know, regalia, and call him anything other than a respectful thing, and see how fast you end up in a hospital. Let's put it that way. So once again, Yeah, dumbasses, you idiots don't know like what used to be, and now you think that you know the history of gender trends, and I think I'm saying that right, like gender norm trends or something, but they've changed, and nowadays, like, look at what we're talking about. Like, of course we're gonna be here. Every once in a while, do I see people that I'm like, I have no idea who you is? Of course, but why does that matter to me? And until I go, hey, how are you doing today? How can I involve you in my life? Does it matter to me, right? If I just see you walk by or you go and do something around me and we don't interact, I don't care what your thingy-mabobber is. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with me unless you want to talk to me. Then we can have that conversation, and then I will ask you where, what, and how, and where, and things of stuff, like pronouns or whatever and things. So, again, Jesus. And like so many people in the Americas have been beat up in bathrooms recently, but let's keep going. Let's keep going, and we'll talk about that later as well.
One to claim Teddy wasn't masculine.
Okay. Same here. I'm gonna grab another burger, but we're just gonna
Gotta let the dog in.
Okay, and then so I'm just gonna keep playing this, and especially I love this. ABC Dildos Inc. is the name of this. Then Tricksters Priest Jazz is the name of this. So, anyways, let's crack on. Let's keep going. Oh, hi, Purple. Welcome, Purple. High heels were really fashion for men. Yeah. Old school fashion. So, thanks for bringing this up, and I'll spend another 30 seconds saying this really good, because when I was in exactly, Timely Purple, unless like we're having a relationship, why does it matter what y'all are doing in your life? I don't give a beep about your life unless it is infecting me, which means that we are having a relationship. We're in a community. There is a thing in the bobbers of stuff. Okay, then you need to eventually or say, like, you know, I have this or that or this, or I've gone through and blah, blah, blah. Cool. Then we go through that then, but not when I see you walking down the street. I don't give up what you are. I mean, I do want to respect you, obviously, but like, that's not my problem. Like, you know, anything about you. And if you walk into a bathroom and I'm like, that's kind of silly, that's all I can say, because like, I don't know, you know, like some people, like, I live in around a farm town. Let's put it this way really quick. And I think Commander can understand this, and maybe you too, Savvy.
I live in the poorest county in all of the whole state, and it's all rural farmlands around me.
So you've seen big ass bitches that look like dudes. So yeah, so you know what I'm talking. Okay, yeah,
my ex-girlfriend was from Kansas. Yeah, she was 6 foot tall. She was built like her dad. Yeah.
So she looked like a dude and probably had more hair on her face,
even though she had longer hair. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and she probably had more hair on her fucking face or other body parts than most fucking. Okay, well, now she does. 20 years later, now her body's gonna do that. But anyways, let's talk about that later. Anyways,
it's only been like 5 years.
I'm just kidding. Anyways, so you know what we're getting at. Like look at Major Green twice.
I got told to use a certain bathroom in West Virginia because I don't have a prominent Adam's apple or really one at all.
Yeah. Luckily, the only thing that makes me like
me neither.
The only thing that makes me a thing is because I have this little goatee ass shit. If I didn't have my goatee, like there could be times where people are like, I've actually had people walk up to me from behind and go, "Hey, ma'am," and I turn around and they're like, "Whoa, shit, I'm sorry." That was a long time ago. That hasn't happened in a long time. But when I was younger, I used to have people from behind ask, say, "Hey, ma'am." Yeah, well, I mean, when they're coming up from me from behind in the middle stall that's Lizard's stall. I'm always the left of the. Never mind. Yeah, no, but yeah. Never. God damn. Yeah, babe. You know, Kitty Cat, you don't know the lure 100%, but Lizard always works the middle stall in the...
Who's Lizard?
A security monitor Lizard who is away in the military right now.
Oh.
But the joke was he used to work the middle stall at the truck stops because he's a lizard and a lot lizard, and God, it gets deep. Anyways, let's keep cracking on because I need another beer if we're gonna get this far to the goddamn.
I thought you were getting up to go get another beer whenever I went to go let the dogs in.
No, I had to talk about the ABC dildos and trickster priest Jason. So I'm going to play this more, and then I will be right back.
While Trump overhauls FEMA, Mississippi, 60% for Trump, tornado survivors await assistance. More than 2 months after a tornado demolished his Mississippi home, Brian Lowerly still sifts through the rubble, hoping to find a tie clip his mother gave him, made from the center stone of her wedding band. "I still have hope," Lowerly said. He, his wife, and 13-year-old son made it to safety before the tornado ripped apart their trailer home of 15 years during a severe weather outbreak in mid-March. But the recovery has been slow and painful. Mississippi's request for federal aid is still pending before the Federal Emergency Management Agency, meaning badly needed assistance has not yet made it to his hard-hit community of Tylertown. I don't know what you've got to do or what you have to be able to be declared for a federal disaster because this is pretty bad. "We can't help you because whatever, we're waiting on a letter, we're still waiting on somebody to sign his name." You know, all that. I'm just over it. The corporate media couldn't jump on Biden quickly enough after every natural disaster for not responding exactly how the media deemed appropriate. But complete silence now. Weird.
Yeah, that's what's annoying about all of this bullshit. Everything that Trump does, oh, who cares? When anything Biden did, like Trump just fell down the stairs yesterday. Nobody was fucking crying about that bullshit. All of a sudden,
a lot of us
every time
laughed about it, though.
No, well, yeah, well, obviously, but it was like, dude, every time fucking Biden barely fell down the stairs, people were like, "Oh my god!" And you're like, okay, Trump acts like a fucking crazy person, and people are just like, yeah, whatever. Okay, I don't know if we went over this dating app thing, but fuck it, let's
as a journalist, I couldn't find.
Let's go over this. I don't know if we did this a couple weeks ago, and if we did, just somebody shout out, and if not, and if we did, but fuck it, let's keep going over it. And I'm gonna go ahead, and we'll go ahead and turn this to normal speed. But here we go. This lady, she's gonna tell us.
Any Republican in New York to talk to me, so I was like, I'll just start dating Republicans, and then I accidentally found all these far right guys.
And I was like, "What is it?" And he was like, "Well, what do you think it is?" And I was like, "It looks like a swastika." He was like, "Yeah."
This is Vera.
Oh my Jesus. I'm sorry that we're doing this, but you're welcome, everybody, for us doing this.
Papasova. She spent the last year.
What?
You're sorry, but you're welcome. That does not compute.
It's like when I spank you really hard and then I pull you in close and I say you're welcome. I don't know. I guess that's not the right one. I don't know. But no. I'm sorry for the punishment, but it has to happen.
Oh. Okay.
I guess is the best way to put it. I mean, if I don't punish you, then
I'll never brat out. Okay.
There we go. That's how this works.
You're trying to get me to brat out. I see that.
Yeah. There we go. That's how this works.
That'll work.
They're dating far-right men in New York City for a story for Cosmopolitan magazine.
They speak liberal, they have liberal friends, and then they go online.
Okay, so she kind of lied in the beginning. She is working for Cosmopolitan magazine, and she was trying to talk to a bunch of right-wing dudes, and she'll tell it,
right.
But she couldn't figure that out. So she found this dumbass dating app that we have gone over on our channel a gazillion and a half times.
Mm.
And if we don't have enough representation of that, we will go over some of it later, if I remember.
And they are a white
You mean
supremacist.
Grinder? That app that goes down every time Republicans get together, and the only real people on it are angry young men?
No, this is the alt-right. That the in I don't remember the name of. She'll probably tell us. It's an alt-right dating app. I know Grindr does crash every time they have an RNC anywhere, but no, this isn't that dating app. It's called The Right One, I think is what it's called.
Huh.
Investigative journalist who went undercover on the alt-right.
Yeah.
Can I interview you? I'll buy you a coffee.
Sure.
What's your go-to order?
A Turkish coffee from Lion's Milk.
Done. You went undercover on a far-right dating app.
Wait. Why did we just see her crotch for no reason? What the? Why did
Because
the
she
editors make
also
us do
ordered
this?
Turkish
Why did
coffee
this just?
from some fancy place.
Done.
Okay, why did we? Why? Okay, I see where there's a dog in the. But it like, why did we have to see his crotch in this? But yes, and
You know, did it
how
balance
much?
it out?
How much? How
Look
much
at that eyebrow on that
crazier
dog,
is it-
though.
I know, it's so cute. It's right there. It's so cute. How much crazier is it for her to order a Turkish version of anything?
We can't make it. You'd have to actually
Okay.
have. I mean, the closest we could do is a pour over, I guess, but we still don't really have the right beans for it.
Okay, so
We
you
can
have
do
to
a
have the
Thai
Turkish
coffee.
beans.
We can do a
Okay.
Thai coffee, but that's just sweetened condensed milk and vanilla added to your coffee. If you ever want to do it at home, that's all we do at the coffee shop. So, ta-da!
I always thought it was the Turkish guy in the back that just dipped his balls in it. Never mind. Anyways, let's crack on.
You went undercover on a far-right dating app.
Yes.
Can you say the name of the dating app?
No.
It's far right
Yeah.
stuff, I believe, and we've gone over it before, and they just showed it before. So, and it'll
okay.
be brought up again. It'll be brought up again. Don't worry about it.
Not
Why
worried
can't you
about
say
it.
the name of the dating app?
Because I don't want a platform.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to platform it.
I'm a dating app that wouldn't take down a profile of someone with a swastika tattoo.
Just for the record, she hasn't said the name of the dating app.
Yeah, so it's the right stuff. Don't if you please don't go there and make an account and troll the fucking idiots there. Please do not make AI versions of hot females that look very, very white and make an account and do not go there and blonde and do not go there and troll them by making accounts. Do not go to the rightstuff.com.
Don't use an AI voice to troll them and get them all hard. Tell them you want to meet them somewhere and then no one shows up.
Well, and that, or you know what my homie used to do? His mom ran a phone call center, right? I worked there for a little while, but I wasn't really good at it. Oh my god! Oh yeah, and I wasn't good at like making my voice sound female, and it was very rare.
Don't do that voice. First off, yeah, that was no.
Yeah, no, I was not good at it. Brandon, and a handful of other people that we knew that were dudes were able to. I can do. Never mind. Whatever. I worked in the industry. Let's put it that way. But no, I
So
couldn't
that's
do.
fun. People thought that they were talking to beautiful ladies, but it was just dudes who had really good control of their vocal cords.
Yes. So what would happen is Brandon would be talking to somebody, and they
not nice.
Well, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't matter, because if you got off paying for a service where you thought you went through a thing, then that's totally fine. It's not like this dating stuff. It's not like scamming somebody in a dating service. If the dude calls in and he just wants to jerk off to somebody saying those things, who cares who's behind it? Because normally the other option is it's a 300-pound lady saying the same thing. So it doesn't matter. It's not a hot chick that's saying it. It's never a hot chick saying it.
I did it.
And you're a hot chick, but yes. How long did you do it though?
Not for very long, because I would just do it while I was
that's
visiting my friend in LA.
Yeah,
that was also a hot chick that did it for years.
Okay,
The
well,
coolest thing he got to do
sure.
was drink a bunch of Dr. Pepper and belch in the phone for a dude because he just wanted us to burp. It was the best thing. For like 5 minutes, I just had to chug a bunch of soda. It was great.
See,
Just the
those
weirdest
things
fucking
are,
thing.
yeah,
Weirdest
those things
thing. But it,
yeah, no, chewing up things or breaking things to your feet and like squishing things to your butt cheeks and stuff are fun. But back in the day, the call centers were like call centers. You came in and you worked for 8 hours a day and in a phone in a cubicle.
Right.
That's the difference than nowadays. Nowadays, we can do whatever we want. Now it's way easy to do this and make
Right.
money. So it was different then. Nowadays, yes, you beautiful people can do that.
it was 2003.
Yeah, but I'm talking about 1999 when I was working in the call center for this, or the tech for. But anyways, so
I haven't done that work in a long time.
and that's what I'm getting at is nowadays it's all this what we're doing here, and we can just make this if we were on OnlyFans or like.
We could still do this on Patreon because everybody else does anyway. I mean,
yeah, or whatever. But anyways, let's crack on. Let's crack on. We
to the right
but
stuff.
anyways,
you're gonna play. You're gonna play New Kids on the Block after this, right?
Yes, totally. And you know what's funny about that? They just are doing a new tour this year. They just got together.
Are they still going to NKOTB or whatever the hell they changed the freaking name to?
I don't know, but like I saw them dancing today, and all they could do was that and that and that. But they started singing their song, and it was hilarious. But anyways, let's crack on with this.
Gross.
Yeah, but I think we know which dating app she's talking about.
They were so insecure because they don't really know who they are and they don't know how to figure that out.
When did you do this?
This was 2024 when I started covering the election as a journalist around this time, and I couldn't find any Republican in New York to talk to me. So I was like, I'll just start dating Republicans. And then I like accidentally found all these far-right guys doing that.
Accident.
I was like, please, can someone talk to me? Like, I want to know.
Okay, I'm gonna speed this up a little bit because that's not what I wanted. Because like there's a lot of this, but I got
why
more
you
things to go
guys
through.
are so excited and want to win, and why the Democrats are all burnt out, don't want to talk about the election, and are acting like fucking losers when it's March and the election is in November. This was like not a planned, premeditated anything. I was really like trying to do personal research, and I just like am methods. So I was like, okay, I don't know what Republicans are thinking because they won't talk to any journalist. So I'm just going to talk to them in a dating setting.
That entire time, I'm traveling the country, going to MAGA rallies, trying to get people to talk to me. And you're like, hey, I'm just going to go on a dating app. And
yeah, this motherfucker with him and his camera crew, went around the country to all the fucking Trump rallies to talk to these beeps. And she literally just sitting there on her fucking phone. And she's already working for Cosmopolitan. She's already making money, sitting around doing nothing. And now she's figuring out a way to make a story. Yeah, dude, it's fucking hilarious. She's fucking smart as shite.
In New York, I could have.
That could have been you. You could have done that with a bunch of conservatives.
He could have just made an AI version of himself with longer hair, or you know what I'm saying? Like, he just made himself into a pretty lady, and he could have done this, and he could have just sat around jerking off all day and doing nothing.
Girls.
I can't tell you which is worse: flying around to a bunch of MAGA rallies and doing that, or dating a bunch of conservative women in New York. Right. I don't know. You know what?
Yeah, but he's not flipping it around right, because that's not where you're going to get all the stuff. Is not from the women. It's the men you need to go after because they're the
they
crazies.
all be fucked in the
yes,
head,
are there
course.
crazy?
Right.
No, of course you're right, but it's usually, from what I have come to understand and see, is the grandpa, the father, the husband, and or other people in their life that are male get them to everybody else to be insane. I'm not even just all the kids, the cousins. It's the multi-generational thing. It's like, hey boy, you know what I have in our hair? Look at that, and you're like,
MAGA
okay, now I'm gonna believe
thrives
that.
on insecure masculinity.
Yeah,
and
no,
Putin
obviously
does too. That's why they have
That's what
just
fascism.
grotesque displays of cartoonish versions of what a 10-year-old thinks is masculine, but and they have very low self-esteem.
Well, obviously, because like, look at every time any of them fucking get challenged for anything, they
And
start
I mean,
speaking their shit because
Operator
they're little
Starsky's
bitches.
PSI,
Yeah.
Propaganda Studies Institute, there's a
Yeah.
correlation between self-esteem and susceptibility to Russian
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yep.
And you have lower self-esteem, you're more susceptible to it.
Well, look at fucking the flat earthers. Look at the conspiracy theorists. Their life, most of the time, they're very low IQ. There's nothing going on in their life, and so they have to give themselves purpose to some way, shape, or form. And then this is the pretended knowledge they have because their brain can't let them read far enough into understanding how there could be worlds outside of their dumbassed knowledge. So yeah, and then that's where I think is it's Occam's, well, it's Dunning-Kruger, right?
Mhm.
I'm so smart because I thought of a thing, but everybody else must be dumb for no reason. Doesn't make any sense.
Honestly, I have never spent an entire year in New York not paying for a date, so I will give the MAGA boys that. They paid for all my dates.
Because their attitude.
The rich fucking white people should have, like, dude, it doesn't matter. But yeah, those dumbasses just should have paid for all your stuff. Especially after the conversation she's gonna talk about that she had with these idiots.
Well, you shouldn't be working and having your own money.
Totally.
You shouldn't even have a bank account.
You shouldn't be able to know what money is, lady. How can you be able to know how to count? Like, that shouldn't even be a thing. All you should know is how to be barefoot, pregnant, in a kitchen, making me a sandwich, right? I mean, duh, that's the only thing you should know. Obviously, I'm joking. And you all know this, obviously.
What is this? What is this your own money thing?
Because it's an app for conservatives and these guys are looking for a wife. So I'm asking them, what are you looking for in a wife? How are you going to be raising your family? Because they don't want someone who's going to be working. And then that is how, before even going on a date, I can.
See, again, that's what I just said. They don't want you to be working, and then we'll get, like, literally everything they said is what she's going to say. Just so I wasn't, and we all know that's the trope of these twats, especially with the trad wives. The trad wives believe they should be doing all of what I just said as a joke.
Can learn they don't even think women should be voting.
The Democrats, they cheat. You know, they say they stole the election. If we didn't have the 19th Amendment, the Democrats would have lost every election since FDR. For the record, this was totally not date right.
It's totally not date right, and it's totally not date right. And fuck this dude. Fuck this dude in the fucking arse of the big hairy dildo. Like, if I ever meet this dude, I'm literally gonna punch him in the face. And if you don't know, here we go.
Every election since FDR. For the record, this was totally not date right.
That douche nozzle, if I ever see him in New York, I am going to punch you in the face. Just letting you know, date right. Like, you're literally going to get punched in the face by me. And I don't give a beep what happens to me after that. Because fuck you, you asshole. And Savvy, I believe you don't know who we're talking about.
Nope,
so
I don't.
maybe we'll play one or two of his dumbass in
That's
shorts.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm
again,
sure I'll
well,
find
I
out
think
eventually.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is, like, we'll get you into this douche nozzle. And
I
just
don't
and
really. It's okay.
And FYI, what he does is he goes into restaurants and he, like, pretends to be eating, like, a dish of food, and he'll say something that's really dumb as shit as a question. Like, he's fucking smart, but it's the dumbest fucking question in the world. Like, he's like eats like nachos, and he's like, if immigrants didn't want to come here illegally, then why do they? And then it ends, and it's like, they're not, you dumbass. Or, like, if people didn't want to get arrested in New York while he's eating a fucking hot dog, then why do they break the law? You're like, what are you talking about? None of this makes any sense, you fucking cunt.
Correct.
You shouldn't think that this is state right at all. She never said it. I never said it. So like, why?
None of us said this is date right app. And please do not go to it and do not do anything about like, I don't know if it's free. It's probably not. There's no way it's fucking free. There's no way it is. Do not go there and like make a review of it and how shite it is because only white supremacists are on the site. Please do not go to Play Store or whatever and do reviews and saying it's a fucking Nazi fucking. Anyways, okay, I'm done.
Neither do I. Tell me about a typical date.
I went to church with a white supremacist.
How do you know he was a white supremacist?
His dating profile said anti-white genocide. I don't use these terms loosely.
Oh my god.
And yet she's I couldn't. No. It's a hard no. Power to her, but no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but the thing is, she is writing for the Cosmopolitan.
No, I understand
on a
that.
subject. So
No, I
yeah,
get
no,
it, but I still
obviously,
couldn't do
no,
it.
everybody and their mom, obviously, I'm almost on the same page with you. Like there would be certain points where I would just be like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like what? You serially just said you want me barefoot in the kitchen, standing on fucking hay, pregnant, and when I have the baby, it just lands on the ground while I'm fucking washing dishes, while I'm also, with the other hand, making you fucking food. What the fuck are you talking about, you psychopath?" Like, literally, this is what she's going to say in just a second. And I know you think I'm exaggerating, but listen to what she says.
Loosely, yeah, it was the white empowerment in the bio.
Anti-white genocide, and he put that in his dating profile.
I asked him, like, what is white genocide? He basically was explaining to me that us as a society, apparently we don't celebrate white couples and white family units, while every other
race just gets a parade.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when black people go on dates, I mean, you've seen
how many. This is what pisses me off, but I'm just going to do this really fast.
Every fucking month is White History Month. I mean,
no, obviously, and not just that, but like how many fucking couples, no matter where they is in the spectrum of anything, are not white in this country. You dumb cunts! Like literally everything is about like if you have gay pride, if you have this veterans, if you. It's all about white people. What are we talking about? Like this is the dumbest thing in the world for people to be like, "Oh my god, we're trying to get rid of the white people." No, we're not. It's just like there has to be more of a variety of things, you dumbass. That's what's.
You know what it is, right? They're told that people don't like them because they're white, straight dudes. But they neglect the fact that they're assholes, and that is the issue.
Well, one of the main problems
is they're white or straight, is that they're assholes.
Well, one of the main problems is with their religions is it says they're being persecuted constantly because of their religious views, because everybody else is fucking wrong, and if anybody tries to challenge their views, that is because they're being persecuted, not being challenged. And like what fucking
you mean someone's
dumbasses...
different than you, so having someone around you who's different than you is persecuting you because you're afraid you might become like them?
Well, that's what's even weirder. Is like there's not like a lot of thank you for saying it that way, Commander. That's one of the dumbass things that they're like, oh my god, all these people around me are different. That's persecution. No, that's called equality. And like, do you not want to have like Indian food and or like Mexican and Spanish and European? Like, what do you want? Just cheeseburgers and pizzas? Because pizzas technically, anyways. Never mind. But like, do you want diversity or do you want not? My favorite thing when I was growing up in low-income housing was every single night of the week, there was a fucking celebration. And I got to experience the amazing amount of fucking music, food, and coming together as a community all the fucking time. Oh, Jesus, that's so horrible. No, that's fucking awesome, dude. I got to fucking eat the most amazing food. I got to hear the most amazing music. I got to learn how to dance in these amazing ways, and I got to experience amazing cultures. Fuck you, you idiots. I want that. What? It's called a melting pot for a fucking reason, you twat whistles. What the fuck are we even talking about anymore? Like the whites are being oppressed. No, just bring in everybody and let's all party together and let's make it a thing. Because once again, if people come here and they spend money, there's taxes that get spent on that money, and then blah blah blah, and it snowballs, and there we go, and stuff and things and stuff, and we have commerce. That's why in small towns you have Bigfoot little museum, or you have this museum or this. It brings commerce into the town and has a way to make revenue for the town. That's a way that you make money for that place. That's how the world works, you twats. There we go. Does anybody want to say anything before I keep going?
No.
Okay. But I mean, here we go. And then, like I said, she's going to say the things that these twats say that I said earlier.
We've all been to those parades.
Yeah. What this guy was telling me was like, okay, so if we're celebrating a Black couple for staying within their race, and if we're celebrating Jewish couples for staying within their race.
That's not what the celebrations are about.
Jewish
Nobody is saying
not necessarily ethnic. It's religious and or cultural.
Same with most of the rest of the thingy-mabobbers. Like literally, like that's the dumbest thing to think of. But that's what that side thinks of. Is, oh, well, if they ain't wild, then fucking blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it's not a conspiracy, you dumb cunt. Like, there's just cultures, and people can be multicultural or can live in and out or of that culture. I was a Native American fancy dancer for many years. We did rendezvous. I dressed as a mountain man native for many years, and my significant other at the time, she was a native. So she dresses as a native, and I dress as a mountain man native because at the time, in this circumstance, I would be multicultural because I would have had her helping me make my attire. And then I was a Native American fancy dancer as well.
I have your
so I had,
jacket that your mama made.
Yes. You have the capote. The capote. Did she give you the capote yet?
I don't know what that is. So maybe
the big hooded thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So you have the capote. Yeah. So
that's
what it's called.
Car.
It's called capote, just to let you know.
How do you spell
it? It's COTE. Wait. COPTE, I think. Capote. Sorry, I don't know. But if you put in something close to that, you'll see like a thing that looks like that.
I mean, there's Capote, like Truman Capote, but
no, but put in Native American, and then close to what I said.
It's okay. I'll find it.
Yeah, it's KAPT.
No, I found it.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
It's
but anyways,
long wrap style wool coat with a hood. From the early days of the North American fur trade, both indigenous peoples and European Canadian settlers fashioned wool blankets into capotes as a means of coping with harsh winter.
So that's why once again, when we would do the rendezvous, those were some of the things that we used, because the only thing that you could bring to a rendezvous at the time, because we were doing things for the Boy Scouts, is you could not bring anything that existed after 1836, because I think that is when the Native Americans did their national constitution or something. There's something weird that happened on that year, and I don't remember what, because it's been a gazillion years since I remembered that. But you could not bring anything that existed after 1836. And so you had to, everything was old school. Like, we smoked out of fucking clay pipes. We lived and stayed for 2 weeks in a 13 pole or 12 pole teepee. The mess hall was put in an old style military tent and things like that. And so we lived for 2 weeks straight out there. And one of the times, everybody was talking about how they kept seeing a bear out in the wilderness, out this certain way. And we we butchered a 20-pound pig, a hog, and we still had its backbone, its head, and its bottom. And they told me to go walk 5 miles to some, I don't remember. They told me to go walk into the wilderness with this thing on my fucking shoulder, in the direction of where the bear was. Fucking assholes. I get. I don't even know. They told me to walk until I couldn't hold it anymore and then to drop it. I got hella far away from it, and that motherfucking bear appeared out behind the fucking trees. And I fucking dropped that shit and just fucking ran. I was so scared. Like, yeah. They did that because they knew the bear was going to go after the fucking pig and not me. They just wanted to make me scared. Yeah. Well, that's how you break in the noobs to some extent, even though this was not my first rodeo there. But that's never happened before. So they were like, oh, Slim is the new guy, technically, that's the older new guy. Yeah, and he's not going to die from doing it. Like, we know that he's not going, you know what I'm saying? Like, I already kind of look like this. They're like, yeah, no, he's going to be the guy who's going to be able to drop it or throw it at it and then get away. And they did give me multiple black powder weapons as well. So it wasn't like I was on my own per se. But anyways, crack on.
Then why can't we celebrate white couples for staying within their race? I was like, I never thought about that. Like, I've never thought of that. And he was like, yeah, we need to be able to empower white couples, and we need healthy white identity.
The ones that we had were not like the actual, they were repops for the certain ones like that. But yes, they would be made out of hemp, most likely. Ours were made out of a Kevlar fire resistant material.
Then he got into the school system and he was saying like, all this white guilt is poisoning white kids. And I was like, what white guilt? Like, I didn't know. Okay. I didn't know about this. So I'm explaining to you the way that if this is redundant or like.
Yeah. Again, she's going to maybe explain it, but I'm going to explain it.
If you're not a piece of shit, then what the Confederacy did, right? If you're not for it, then you shouldn't feel guilty about it.
No, obviously.
If you're a piece of shit and you think that stuff was cool and people are trying to tell you, yeah, you're a piece of shit and you feel guilt, that guilt is a good thing.
And you literally shouldn't have guilt. You should just go, cool. You know what's really fun about this now is we figured this out and we fixed it. Or we're trying to. Let's work towards fixing it. And or like I'm like, I don't, just progress. Let's progress the world. Why do we not make things better? Like, why do we have to cry about being fucking whatever in the past? It doesn't matter. No, let's make things better in the future. That's how the world works. So let's crack on a little bit more.
Had never heard any of this. So I was just like, okay, what white guilt in the schools? This is when I realized this is what they are talking about when they think the school system is like too woke. Right. So it's basically just like teaching accurate American history, I guess, is like.
American history books should just be the American flag and oil paintings of the founding fathers, pictures of Mount Rushmore, but don't tell them anything about Mount Rushmore at all. There's like multiple people that wouldn't sign the Declaration of Independence until they codified slavery.
What do you think the 13 colonies were? You come to another land, you create 13 colonies. What is that? Colonizing. So we are colonizers. When you grow up in New England, that's the history that you learn, which is I grew up.
Yeah, and that was only like in like 1/16 part of the Americas at the time was 13 colonies. You want to know why? Because it's like it's just like 3 states or like maybe even 4 states or something originally. Because America's fucking huge. And so is the Europe's. The only problem is, sorry, I didn't mean to say problem. The only difference is with the Europe's is their countries are our states pretty much.
Up in Massachusetts, and then you go and you visit like the reservations and you learn their history. He said that creating healthy white family units is how we can begin to erase what's like the damage that's being done.
What is a white person? That's like, it's not even a real identity, Irish pride, Italian pride,
So during the 1920s or whatever, Irish, the Scottish, and a couple other things were already not considered white. Then blah blah blah, and then now like what do we consider white?
So
And
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, and I look white, but I know what they mean by not white, because people don't treat you as an equal; they treat you as less than. And the first time many of my coworkers ever met someone with any Jewish family history whatsoever, the Jew knew the New Testament better than them.
Yeah, one of the things that happened to me when I was a teenager, and especially when I went to other countries and other things and blah blah blah, and even when I was 19 and I didn't understand people had other thingamabobbers 100%. I was like, I just thought everybody is like equal, and then all of a sudden people were like, that person's Jewish or that person doing it, and I'm like, what does that matter? Or like, why do we care? What are we talking? Who gives a why?
Well,
and then I slowly learned the prejudice. Well,
there is a holiday that has literally God is not mentioned at all, and you're commanded to drink until you don't know the difference between Mordecai the Great and Haman the Horrible. You are commanded to get hammered and eat tons of food.
Yeah. Then I unfortunately or fortunately found out about all the cultures and what celebrations are what, and then this and that, and then I worked for different corporations. So, but at a certain point in time, I was like, why are you weirdos freaking out about stuff? And then I went, oh, I now know the tradition. And I read the things and blah, blah, blah. And now I know. But what does that have to do with anything other than you weirdos thinking that these things are a thing? Anyways, let's crack on. I want to get to at least 1 or 2 more of these, and then we'll be done for today. Let's get into, and I don't know if I want to get into him screaming in our ears. No, let's not get into that. Let's do this as a joke really quick, and then we'll get into something else. The leopards eating people's faces for sure. And here are new Trump and I merch. Yeah, totes. It's Trump merch. It's totally new Trump merch. Taco. Trump always chickens out. Executively.
I love it.
There's new merch for that. And then now let's get into these cunts crying about their faces being eaten, obviously.
If you could say anything to President Trump now, what would you say?
I expected better.
from you. I really did. I expected that you would do what was right and cut waste and fraud, all of those things that you promised us before we elected you in office, but you're not doing that. You're creating a disaster, and I don't know what America's going to look like if this continues.
Did you ever think that your job would be impacted in the Trump administration?
No, absolutely not.
Never thought.
Hey, leopards in my face.
Never thought.
Leopards in my face.
Bonded over bigotry, but they weren't supposed to turn on me. No, I never thought. The leopards would eat my face. Slow it down now. I never thought.
Leopards in my face. Okay. We've gone over this before. Now let's go ahead and let's do this. And then we will get into more of what happened last night during some of the protests.
Hey there, folks. Hope you're doing well today. Today, we're diving into a comment thread.
And I'll be right back.
That's not just a petty internet argument, but a case study in how political discourse breaks down when one side refuses to engage with reality. A very common theme we're seeing when engaging MAGA. We recently created a video called Exploring the Origins of Conservatism and How It Compares to Today. And on that video, Josh left a comment accusing me of being brainwashed by the news. Now, on the surface, it might look like just another troll lobbing insults at a creator. But what's underneath is way more revealing. A rejection of facts, institutions, and even the tools we use to find truth, like AI, history, and direct quotes. This isn't just about Trump or Burke or conservatism. It's about how people like Josh retreat into a worldview so paranoid, so insulated that even asking for evidence feels like an attack to them. But here's the thing. I'm not doing this to dunk on Josh. I mean,
that's literally what we just said like 5 minutes ago or 2 or 3 or whatever. But yeah, no, I don't understand how anybody could, after his first presidency, realized he was going to fucking change. Obviously, he was going to get worse because he knew what boundaries he could now break. And that's where we're at. But hopefully we get to be pushed back from all of that. But let's keep cracking on.
Dunk a little. But there's also real opportunity here. Because if Josh is actually open to learning, if he's serious about wanting truth and not just defending his team, then this moment could be a door, a crack in the armor. So let's walk through what happened. Let's break down the arguments, the missteps, and the outright dodges, and maybe, just maybe, we'll uncover what it would take for someone like Josh to stop seeing disagreement as brainwashing and start seeing it as a challenge to grow.
Maybe.
And so again, Josh starts the conversation, leaving a comment saying, wow, this video shows how much the news has brainwashed you. And I respond saying, please elaborate. How so? Josh then replies saying, all the things that you said to make Trump look bad were biased opinions. Giving you the benefit of the doubt, I assume some of those opinions were broadcasted on the news to throw you off. But in the event you made them yourself, that's even worse. I said, thanks for the feedback, Josh. When running your feedback and script through the chatbot, this was the output. Do you agree with it?
You just went to chat GPT.
And so, again, I took the conversation we had thus far, his comments, and the script, and I asked chatbot, I said, is Josh's feedback accurate? The script you posted comparing Edmund Burke's philosophy of conservatism with Donald Trump's version of it is largely accurate in its historical claims and highly satirical in its tone. Let's break it down in terms of truth, bias, and validity of criticism.
This is so much fun to watch this kitty cat do, this leopard do this, for sure.
What's true in the script? Burke's philosophy. Edmund Burke is widely credited as a foundational thinker in modern conservatism. He emphasized gradual reform, respect for institutions, moral leadership, and the dangers of mob rule and populism, especially after witnessing the French Revolution. Burke's quote,
oh my God, dude, these people's brains are going to explode if there was like this much information being shoved into their fucking gullet or their face.
The only thing necessary for triumph to evil is for good men to do nothing, is commonly attributed to him, though not directly found in his text. However, its sentiment reflects his views. Okay, perhaps that might not be Burke's quote. Totally condone that. Contrast with Trump. Donald Trump has repeatedly undermined institutions, calling the press the enemy of the people, attacking the courts, the FBI, and the electoral system. He's denied responsibility for major events. An example would be when he said, I take no responsibility at all regarding COVID testing delays. He's used
Okay, so now let's just get into another thing, because I want to get into maybe, I don't know. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into this really quick. then we'll be out of her. But we want to go to more eating
If you
people's
could say anything
faces.
to President Trump now, what would you say?
I expected better.
Okay, we'd already did that. Never mind. Okay, hold on. We'll just get into a couple of these.
He said he will target and punish those who disagree with him or refuse to bend to his will. He calls these Americans the enemy within and says that he would use the American military to go after American citizens. Journalists whose stories he doesn't.
That's never gonna happen. Not at all. Never.
Election officials who refuse to cheat by finding a few extra votes for him. Judges who insist on following the law instead of following him. It is for reasons like these that General Mark Milley, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Donald Trump's top general, has called Trump, and I quote, fascist to the core.
Joe Biden can't even walk up a flight of stairs on
Oh, well, what happened to you yesterday?
Air Force One.
Oh, you fell up the stairs. Totally.
Donald Trump is threatening to defund California, but it's Econ 101. California is a donor state. We provide over $80 billion more in tax revenue to the federal government than the federal government provides to people of the state of California. We help pay federal bills. So,
so stupid.
Donald Trump's going to continue to threaten 40 million Americans that live in California. Maybe we should consider withholding those resources.
Yes, exactly. Similarly. Okay, so let's read this real quick. Mom, what's a MAGA? A mentally challenged person who lacks critical thinking, thrives on fear, mongering, and gets duped very easily into believing any controversial thing without evidence, dear.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another series of F-Around and Find.
Trump's supporters, empty on brains and full on mouth.
And in this series, Trump supporters, MAGA.
Yeah, look at all this insanity. We're just going to do this a little bit, and then we're going to end today. God damn it. These people are so dumb. Make him, that's probably what it says on, I don't know. Okay. We're going to just go barely through her first, and then
There
we'll
are
be
MAGAs
done.
like you out there who really regret their vote for Trump.
All of them do. Yep.
I voted for Donald Trump, and that is something that I am not proud of. I regret that vote.
Maybe if he didn't smoke so much meth and have so many fucking children and or animals, because I don't know what those gates are for behind you, but I feel like they're for animals and children. But if you didn't smoke so much meth or do so much cocaine, then like you probably would have voted for fucking Kamala Harris. You cunt.
Every day. I am using this platform because I want others out there like myself to come forward. And I know they don't, because clearly you can look in my comment section.
You can look at your fucking eyeballs and look at how much meth you smoked just fucking 5 seconds ago, you fucking crazy bitch. That's why you fucking voted for Trump, because you thought they were going to blah, blah, blah for no reason. How do you think they were going to get rid of fucking millions of fucking illegal immigrants for no reason when we need them in our population? They do things. Most of them are here with the things and the mabobbers with semi papers, and they are getting into the process and Anyways, fucking what? They're not the people who like it's bitch. It's you that deserve to be in prison and in jail and to be deported to. I don't fucking care where. Because you're the psychopath, not the rest of the fucking people that are here trying to make a living so they can like provide for their family, you fucking cunt.
I am getting ripped apart. And I just wanted to make this video. I have been responding to a lot of you.
I'm really scared about why she used this as her background. What the fuck does the rest of your house look like that you use this as behind you? And I know I use a fake background, and it's because I have a bunch of beer cans behind me. But I am not out here pretending that I'm better than anybody or that like blah 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 and like it. This is how I do a show, obviously, right? Anyways, let's listen to this fucking crackhead.
And to the people who just come out and tell me I don't deserve forgiveness, I don't deserve this or that, I get it. I get it. You guys are really, really angry right now, but hopefully I can earn your trust back. I do plan to have my first protest June 14th. I am meeting Daria. She is another TikToker here, and she lives right close by. So I'm really looking forward to this. I am here to make a change, and I would love to see this man impeached and out of office.
Oh, now you want that to happen. And of course, anyways, I don't want to hear this cunt anymore. Let's go to the next one really quick. Then we will go to, well, then we'll be done.
And as Jojo said, it's just too little, too late.
Exactly, Timothy.
Good afternoon. You know, MAGA Cubans happen to be the most miserable people on this planet. So I want you to recall this memory that happened in Miami not even a year ago. Remember that billboard that was talking ill about Donald Trump? Remember how the Cuban people lost their everlasting minds? I remember because I got a great payout from doing that video of Cubans losing their minds.
Oh, yeah.
Now, these MAGA Cubans were so upset about this.
Yeah, I remember that for sure. About a year and a half ago, probably.
Rubio is celebrating Russian National Month, Russian National Day. Can you imagine that? The operator
insane.
Starsky put it this way. I guess you're celebrating it because of all the communists and bullshitters who basically forced your family to come to America. And you might not have been an American had they not been such douchebags in Cuba.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Anti-Trump billboard that they threatened to shut down the Palmetto. They were on every news station. They contacted their representatives, and eventually the billboard came down. Do you see any of that action occurring down in?
No, this was fucking insane. Like, why does the left not have this much fucking gumption to keep doing this shit to? I know we play fair. That's the problem. But like, dude, Jeebus Christ! Like, why is not people putting
NA bought 5 memberships.
Thank you, NA. Sorry, everybody in the side chat, dude. I've just this has just been. Hey, Captive Desk. Hey, everybody. I'm so sorry. Just I've been so confuzzled with this. So, we're gonna do this for the new members, and I don't know who that is because Brainless is not here, and I'm not logged in. I don't know how. Give me a second. I'll figure that out. Just give me a second. But here we go with a new membership video. Okay, so let me see if I can figure out who are the new members. We're not doing shots NA, but I will eat a bug for $20. And I'm sorry, everybody. So we have Tank Girl is a member, Clockwork Rex, Mr. Fear, Lucifer Almighty, and Simos Funk are the new members. And we're not doing shots once again. I will eat a bug for if we get a collective amount of $20, and it will go to the Savvy for her. And speaking of that devil, I owe you $20. But we'll figure that in a second. But yeah, anyways. So thank you very much for the memberships. Let's go ahead and get to other things. I don't know. Let's get to one more thing of this crazy person, and then we will. I really don't want to hear Major Green Twat talk. But let's see where we're at here. and then we'll go from there.
From ICE detention, Lara Gonzalez tells us he remembers hearing Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying this new administration would have the back of the Cuban people. He feels differently now. Ariel Lara Gonzalez.
Yeah, I know. We already know about this. So now let's go ahead and let me find one more. I don't know. Let me just double check.
Rubio is Castro because he has no balls and he does whatever Trump and Putin want him to.
Yes. So now let's have fun with the denazification of something. I don't know what's going on anymore, but let's
Hey there,
crack
folks.
on.
Hope you're doing well today. Dr. Debunk here again with ya. Today, I wanted to explore some ideas of how we could try to unbrainwash MAGA. And I think a great way to look at that is to see how they did that in Germany after World War II. And you have to think about it, right? Germany was in ruins, physically, morally, and fashion-wise. The world asked, how do you fix a country full of people who cheered for genocide, wore armbands to brunch, and thought Hitler was a strong leader with quirky boundaries? It wasn't easy, but they tried and it worked. On literal Nazis. Maybe, just maybe, we could try it on our uncle who thinks QAnon is real and the IRS is run by lizard people. Chapter 1. How the Allies
Yes, let's find
deprogrammed
this.
Germany. So you got a country full of people who cheered while Hitler goose-stepped across Europe like he was auditioning for a death metal version of The Sound of Music. What do? The Allies came in like post-war life coaches, brutal, thorough, and slightly condescending. But they had one goal.
What was that goal?
Denazify Germany. And unlike America's...
They wanted to nutsify Germany. I have to break this up a little bit so we do not get told that we can't have this anymore. So, of course, we have to go in between these and we have to say some things.
Today, they weren't trying to both sides fascism.
That's what she said
what did
last
they do?
night.
Well, step one, total takedown. They didn't just slap a fine on bad guys and call it a bad day. The Allies arrested millions of Nazis. Yes, millions.
Nazis,
Germany was
yes.
basically on fascist probation. You had to fill out a form called Fragebogen, a 131-question ideological...
Jesus Christ, I didn't know about this. But that's why we do these things. And luckily we have these
And if
content
you
creators.
throw an Elon salute in Germany, you will go to jail.
For 3 months or something? Yes, it's definitely illegal to do that thing.
Purity quiz. If your answers included things like loving Mein Kampf or that you miss Adolf's speeches, you are out. No job, no office, no access to rebuilding society. Step 2, kill the cult of the root. They dismantled the Nazi party like it was Enron. No offices, no meetings, no slogans. Swastikas were banned, Nazi symbols erased. Even words were scrubbed from street names, school names, institutions. Imagine America
Yes.
banning the Confederate flag.
From what I have come to understand, and they're pretty much going over this, is in Germany and Austria, there's like 10 years they don't really talk about.
And renaming Fort Bragg something like, I don't know, Fort Not a Traitor. They even banned Nazi literature. Not in a Karen in the school board way, but in a way we don't want genocide making a comeback way.
Yeah.
Step 3 was trial and error correction. And we're not talking about trial and error. We're talking about the Nuremberg trials, public spectacles of accountability. Nazis had to face the world and explain on the record why they thought exterminating millions of people was a cool afternoon
That was an awesome thing. It was so great to do that.
activity. It wasn't about vengeance. It was about truth. It was about broadcasting to the world. We're not going to sweep this under the rug.
It was the weirdest thing that people, and again, we're still here. People think that their DNA is better than everybody else when, like, you know what's fucking awesome is mixing DNA. Because then we become stronger from that. And we have lots of proof of that. And one of these days we can go over that again and again and again. We've already have proof of that. We've already talked about
When
that over and over
cousins
again.
marry, you can tell by the way I shouldn't actually associate the accent with stupid because that's wrong. But
Okay, if you want me to go over here, we're not gonna do the whole thing. But no, the more that you like not mix your DNA, the more like not fun things happen to your DNA. Let's put it that way. That's why the blue bloods happened. That's why a lot of the Victorian families that were trying to keep it in the family, because the riches of the rich turned out to be the slack-jawed and handful of other things. That is a reason from breeding, where what you need to do is you need to go out and fuck a lot of other people in different cultures and different things, and breed with things to. Anyways, I think y'all get what I'm talking about, but let's keep going on.
We're beating you over the head until you realize how wrong you were. So now we move on to step 4.
I'm beating you in the head now. Oh, bitch. Okay, let's keep cracking up.
Re-education, but make it German. The Allies made Germans go to re-education camps, not gulags, not thought prisons, literal classrooms. They watched documentaries of the Holocaust. They learned democracy. They studied the Weimar Constitution like it was a warning label. Teachers were retrained, civics was rebuilt, and the children were taught that blind obedience wasn't patriotic. It's how you ended up saluting a sociopath who screamed into microphones and married his cousin in a bunker. And finally, step 5 was the media
See
makeover.
what we mean by
Every
marrying cousins?
Exactly, so that's what I just said a second ago. But anyways, there's a handful of other examples
Hitler
of this
and Ava
weird
Braun,
shit.
they were cousins.
Yeah, and not just that, but we have a handful of other examples of this crazy shit that's been coming up recently, where people that were starting a cult, which this is technically what this was on a weird fucking crazy large scale, is they end up being like cousin fuckers or people that keep it in the family for some weird fucking reason and shit. And we'll go over other things, but let's keep going on with this as of for right now.
Every radio station was taken over by allies and repurposed into propaganda detox. No more triumph of the will. Now it was triumph of self-aware adults. Think BBC and Radio Free Europe, not Alex Jones with a German accent. And here's the kicker. The public...
Oh my god, Alex Jones with a German accent. That's... Okay, just keep going.
Didn't get a say.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Debates about free speech. The allies weren't trying to make fascism feel heard. They were trying to bury it. It was about building a firewall, a moral quarantine. The Allies didn't assume Germany would figure it out. They knew if you don't actively unlearn fascism, it festers. It reinvents itself. It gets louder, dumber, redder, and suddenly it's selling $40 hats on a golf course. Now, Brad.
So, once again, it's just exactly like when I used to work for the news. If it bleeds, it leads. The more crazier that it is, the more numbers we could get in people looking at that article. That's what we were taught to look at, and that's exactly what happens here. All right, folks, it is around that time. I am exhausted as beep, and we did go over some of the stuff. We didn't go over the lady, excuse me, pardon me, getting shot by the rubber bullet, and then today saying, "Oh, it was not the police's fault." And then there was a journalist who got detained from CNN for just a second, and then they said to go out and so we'll go over more of that stuff later this weekend. We'll see.
And
if not.
I have to make a plug. Right now, I do not have a job. I have an application out, and hopefully I will hear back. There's homelessness, and I only have so much money before I can no longer afford a place to. So I'm hoping to get a new job before I run out of money.
Yes, so let's all hope for that to happen. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here because I am exhausted. It's been a long week already, and then tomorrow I've got things that I'm going to do, and then this weekend, hopefully Saturday, I will be running around for the No King's Day for Saturday here in Fort Collins. And hopefully my dumbass doesn't get arrested. So, Kitty Cat, if I get arrested,
Hook up
you'll be
with the Sons of Liberty. Go into the Discord, hook up with them. You probably won't get vetted in time, but they got a system where we all look out for each other and steer clear of all kinds of troublemakers, whether they be on our side or the other.
Well, I am known in the community in Fort Collins, so when I show up, I have I have people behind me, and then my dumbass will probably. Kitty, I'm gonna try to not get arrested on Saturday, but I may get arrested on Saturday. So we'll see for the No Kings Day because, like, yeah, I'll be out
Wait,
there.
are you saying you're going to Denver?
No, I'm just gonna be in Fort Collins, and we have one here in Fort Collins. So there's a local one. Denver said they're gonna cancel theirs, but that's not gonna happen. But I'm not gonna go there to go get arrested. I'm just gonna come here to get arrested. But no, I'm gonna go out on Saturday, and I'm going to do things. And I have my new phone, but I need to get all the I need to get padding for it and stuff. But I'm whatever.
I mean, that's the same. Saturday is also the morning when we're supposed to be when the circus is in the Fib Arc parade in Salida too.
Yeah, well, I wish I could be there, but
I don't know if I don't know if I'm debating. It's gonna be like 90.
NA, are you not involved with Purple's Discord, or you're definitely in ours, so are you asking for Purple's Discord? And if you are, then we can get that connected, because you definitely should be involved with their Discord. But tomorrow I'm gonna chill. I don't know who is doing what's tomorrow's for a game stream. I think that I'm gonna take the day off because I know Saturday I want to go and hang out downtown and go support the No Kings protests, because there's no way that we can't at certain points. I'm an old man and I didn't want to do this anymore. And I used to do all the protests when I was younger, but fuck it. Here we are.
Leave your phone at home.
No, I am bringing it, and I'm gonna get it padded and all the things.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if they take it.
Well, whatever. They have to anyways, we'll see.
Okay.
I don't have a way to get a burner phone at this millisecond as of right now. But anyway,
I'm not talking about a burner phone. I'm just saying.
No, I know, no. But if I had a burner phone, I could just run around with it, and then we could use that for everything. Unless somebody wants to throw me $60 to get a burner phone for this weekend, but I'm not even asking for that. Anyways, it doesn't matter. This weekend, I will be at one of the thingy-mabobbers, and I will, as much as I can, let you all know what happens. It's Fort Collins. We're probably not going to get any of the things and stuff, so I probably won't get arrested. But, if that happens, we'll talk about it, and we'll go from there. But, yeah. All right, everybody, thank you very much for being here. We'll see you all later. Next week, we have all the things and the stuffs and bobbers. I don't know what we're going to do for Monday. I don't think yet. But I have the other things stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. That's what I was thinking. Is 50-50. So yeah. And if anybody wants to help out anybody else in their own communities to get a burner phone for everybody, so that we can go and do these things in public, that's what we're gonna do. And I didn't want to do this anymore, but I feel like we have to do this again. And god damn it, and if
we shouldn't have to. People should have heard. I'm gonna be a dictator on day one and said, "Fuck no."
I know, but if MAGA motherfuckers go and try to fuck with my friends and or my community,
they already have been.
I know, no, but I'll have to get in the middle of it, in it live. So unfortunately, I may go to jail in the next couple of days, but That's for the cause. But here we below. Thank you all very much for being here. We'll see you all next week for sure, because I can probably get out in like 24 hours or something. Because I don't think that the fucking National Guard's going to come here, but like,
They're
I'm
they're
going
probably gonna go
to.
to Denver, if anywhere. I doubt they'd go to Fort Collins.
Yeah, so I am definitely going to go to the one here in Fort Collins on Saturday, and I will try to give you as much content as I can, and or once that happens the next day or two, we will go over it after that. So awesome. Thank you all very much for being here. You all rock. You all are amazing. Please double check that you are subscribed. Make sure that you like the stream. And if you could rewatch this or share with your friends and or tell your friends to become a subscriber, that'd be amazing. Yes. Good night, y'all. And
Good night,
it's
Purple.
only night purple. And it's
Good night.
only $2. It's only $2 a month to become a member for this channel. So if
That's
you
like
could,
the cost of a candy bar now.
yeah, executively. thank you so much,
Thanks,
Purple.
Purple.
And if you did that, I know we're still days away, but I only need four more dollars to get paid out by Google for doing this. So if just a couple more views, just a couple more things, if one person becomes a member, then we're technically there. So we'll see you all later. Thank you all very much for being, as always, and you all rock and you're all amazing. We'll see you next time. Thank you all very much, and we're getting the fuck out of here. So bye.